If you haven't heard, Paimon's English VA was fired. Or rather, she says she stopped working. She retired for them because she will not work for them unless they accept the SAG after whatever the fuck. Oh, whatever the frick that one was called. Either way, English VAs are crashing out over Paimon VA being fired. Let's get to it.
Welcome back, guys. Hope you're having a wonderful weekend. And what makes all of the recent Karina/Paimon news that much funnier is mere days after being told that Karina is probably getting replaced, whatever she's trying to spin it as, you know. It's actually Paimon's birthday in Genshin Impact. I mean, it doesn't get better.
Happy birthday, Paimon, man. You're finally free. You're finally free, Paimon.
Better than that. Paimon being freed and all of us being freed as well. However, guys, believe it or not, this is going to be absolutely shocking. The click over on Blue Sky, the SAG bootlicking click, their VAs and, defenders and all that, they're not happy about this stuff. They're actually really mad at all of the people celebrating. And they're really mad that the interview with Karina didn't go so well. And a lot of them are mad at Karina for even taking that interview too. So hopefully you have seen my videos covering the whole interview situation. I made one like very briefly going over it and then seeing some of the reception a few days ago. And then yesterday I made one going over the interview itself. Because in this video now, we're going to hop over to Blue Sky and take a look at those rage posts. Oh, spoiler alert, they're also really mad at Paper Bag Boy for even like interviewing Karina to begin with. They're mad at a lot of stuff. What else is new? Let's get some entertainment and hop over there and take a look. Starting with Kit Harrison. You might remember this guy, not for his VA work or anything, but because of his Reddit post from like the beginning of the situation with Jacob Takanashi replacing John Patton-Wad, when all these VAs were getting a bunch of backlash, and then he made a Reddit post trying to defend the VAs and all that stuff, trying to defend the union. You might remember that.
We probably talked about
March 28th,
yeah.
And then we'll get to the new stuff in a second. Here's the context first. On March 28th, he said, I posted on the Genshin subreddit to try and provide my perspective regarding the ongoing strike efforts and silent characters in Hoyo games. I also responded as best as I could to the many people who wanted extra info. Please feel free to read it yourself. The thing is, this didn't really come off like he was just trying to give perspective. More so, it came off like he was trying to get people to stop criticizing the strike and criticizing the VAs who were trying to harass Jacob Takanashi. And excuse me, I shouldn't say trying to harass, let me rephrase. That were harassing Jacob Takanashi. Over on Kit Harrison's post, we can see top responses calling out the narrative. For example, this one that reads, yeah, really downplaying how terrible it is for non-union to be at the mercy of the whims of the union. If Hoyo is already showing support for AI protections, this really just reads like a power play by the union.
What? Are you for real?
To be honest, MiHoYo shows more care for the life of VAs than their fellow striking VAs by not signing this garbage. Because 2 out of 3 of the cast being fired on the whim of the union doesn't sound like the side that has everyone's best interest in mind, right? And yet they want to tell you like, oh, we just care about the workers, guys. Yeah, so what if 75% of them get fired? At least our clique will get the roles.
Yeah, at least really us will get roles. At least we will get the money, right? Bro, Paimon's VA, Karina, what's her name, is the worst person in all of this. Because she's not even with the union. Because she kept working through all the strike. Because she literally said, yes, I'm for the strike, but I'm also working. Because her excuses, she has autism or something. Because she needs to make money to get food. Yeah, she has the permission to be a scab. She got the bills to pay, and like others don't. Like, what are you talking about, man? She apparently also bullied other actors who wanted to come back to work. Yeah, she did! Like... Oh my lord.
Trust us, guys. Trust us. Don't question anything. Baffling how this apparently isn't something they can wrap their mind around. Alright, with that Kit Harrison context, he had responded to Karina here announcing the interview with Paper Bag Boy. Kit Harrison saying, it sucks to see...
I'm gonna find you guys the clip real quick. With Karina retiring. Karina Paimon fired. It's probably gonna show it up, right? Gonna quickly play this clip just for like context. Karina, Paimon's English VA, will no longer voice Paimon. Interview by Paperback Boy.
So, are there any new major roles coming up for you soon, or is it still just going to be Paimon? I know you're not voicing Paimon at the moment, but is there any new roles that you have coming up?
Correct. After Jacob was replaced.
There's no way this is her real voice, right? Right? She has to be like high pitching her voice, right? It's real. If it's real, she can't really do much about it, right? If it is real, then alright, whatever. But if she's faking it, it's just like some people just have weird voices. That is true. That is true. Not necessarily faking her voice. Maybe, you know? Who knows?
I sent notice to Hoyo saying that I would no longer voice Paimon until they became union, so they'll probably just replace me.
So, are there any new
There, that's the one. The voice hurts my eyes to watch. Back to Hero, hey.
The response from some of the more rabid Genshin fans here, but I'm so happy and proud to see this level of solidarity. I can't explain enough to fans of this game, and for those on the fence, this isn't just drama. This is an essential and existential fight for actors' well-being. Once again, like I just said about their argument regarding workers, the same would apply here. This is not about actors' well-being, this is about you guys trying to only look out for your own clique. And what's really hilarious is the solidarity that he's talking about here. The only people defending you guys is the same group you've had defending you this whole time on Blue Sky. Like the same few dozen people or whatever. Like maybe at best it's like 200 people. Okay, 200.
Can't wait to see Paimon getting recasted with Chris Pratt. Same. That would go so hard though.
People maybe in solidarity. Meanwhile, there's hundreds of thousands, if not probably more even, when you factor in all the CN players and people worldwide in general, criticizing what y'all have been doing. But great job with the solidarity. Yeah, really impressive. Kit Harrison also responding directly to Karina, saying, "Thank you for taking a stand and for your candid posts. I'm sorry the reaction from some is as awful as it is. But my gosh, guys, it gets so much more funny. Because for every comedic thing you could point out about Kit Harrison and his failed Reddit post, this VA, Sean Laraway, was that times 100. And here we can see Sean Laraway responding to Karina when she posted about the interview saying, "Well, time to update the block list again." So,
as I say, lists of accounts that spam harassment and misinformation against voice actors. Block away for your safety and sanity. I love how they're painting the facts of what Seg After is actually after as fake news. Because they don't even know what the Union wants. They don't even know what the Union is fighting about. Like, it's either that or they're just really disingenuous, right? And I still don't know which one would be worse.
This dude's literally a moderator, it seems. Moderation list by Sean Laraway. List of accounts that spam harassment and misinformation against voice actors. Block away for your safety and sanity. Yeah, harassment probably just means like, hey, SAG is pretty corrupt. Oh, put him on the list. Get everyone to block him and play victim. But what about that whole Reddit thing I mentioned that makes this all so much funnier? Quick refresher for anyone who may not be familiar with that or just needs a refresher. You get the point. A voice actor came on Reddit arguing why Jacob/Mahoya were in the wrong. After having all their points refuted, they deleted their entire account.
Damn!
This happening similarly 2 months ago near the beginning of all the backlash these people were getting for their manipulative strike, their corrupt union, their harassment of Jacob Takanashi, etc., etc.
Sorry, just like real quick before he gets into this. What makes all of this so much funnier, the voice actors that are striking, that are being replaced by actual voice actors, not by AI, which they are supposedly only fighting for and nothing else, right? Because they are only fighting against AI, right? They're not even being replaced by AI. They're being replaced by actual voice actors. Like, that's insane. China has insane AI protections already, and yet they're still fighting over it. It's so dumb. It's all about AI, sure.
Well, let me just repeat that one more time. After having all their points refuted, they deleted their entire account. This was like one of the most hilarious and pathetic things in the whole freaking situation, which is saying a lot, obviously. Let's read the archive of this really quick. It's not that long. It's like 3 short paragraphs here.
Oh boy.
Please stop blaming voice actors for quote unquote refusing to work. Hey everyone, I'm a voice actor. I've been seeing a bunch of posts blaming the actors for them being recast. I've seen just about every post blaming everyone else but MiHoYo for this insulting situation.
Yeah, why would they be blamed for it? They're not replacing anyone with AI. What are you talking about?
You all need to realize that non-union voice actors would still be considered scabs if they went back to work for MiHoYo, right? You can read it here. The fact is, we just want to make a living. Supporting a billion-dollar company not agreeing to the bare minimum is wrong. I love Genshin Impact and Zenless Zone Zero. I would love to be a part of them if they agree to AI protections. It's that simple. Please do proper research and not spread misinformation.
That's rich. That is so rich.
Thank you. Oh, and for people who think non-union VAs would be fired if the interim agreement was signed, no. They would just sign a Taft-Hartley. There is also a way for them to stay non-union with AI protections. It's called NAVA. Final edit. I'm done replying to y'all individually. Please read the screenshots. If you still don't believe MiHoYo is in the wrong, then oh well. So yeah, you gotta love the gaslighting here. Oh, we just want to make a living, guys. So you should agree with everything in this contract and support everything we say, even though we're lying and manipulating you. Don't support a billion-dollar company. Just support SAG, which, after merging with SAG after 10 years ago, has already brought in $1 billion in revenue. But hey, don't question that at all. I love Genshin Impact and Zenless Zone Zero, guys. Believe me, seriously. I would love to be a part of them if they agree to AI protections and everything else in the contract that we're not disclosing. And don't worry about the non-union VAs. They won't get fired. They might, but I'm just going to say that they're not, because all they have to do is sign a Taft-Hartley, assuming that, you know, they'll successfully beg SAG to get the Taft-Hartley, and SAG, who notoriously seems to hate people who are not a part of the union, are actually going to give them that Taft-Hartley, when in reality, a lot of times they just replace those people anyways, and or give them like one Taft-Hartley to kind of lure them in, and then not give them the second one, saying that they need to join the union and pay the members' dues and all that. But hey, we're not going to mention all that stuff. It's just really easy, believe me. Don't question it. So bro got comments like, anytime a random VA appears to explain so-called AI protection, they completely disappear and refuse to say anything once you bring issue of the interim agreement that they want to force companies to sign. I wonder why.
Oh, look, they disappeared.
And then not only disappeared, but deleted everything.
Oh
my
God.
Which therefore, you know, got the post deleted. This is an archive of the post, for the record. I forget if I mentioned that. But yeah, that context takes us back to Blue Sky, Sean Laraway's post from yesterday, where he was talking about this block list that he created and moderates or something like that. Got this response that reads, is this a VA too? Let's see here. So yeah, I don't think they're a VA based on their bio, but they do seem to be a VA strike supporter, saying support the VA strikes. Anyway, going through and blocking people. So many of these accounts looks like they were made solely to harass their VAs and spread misinformation because they don't post about anything else. I would bet actual money that many of these are plant accounts from Hoyo.
What?
Oh my gosh, the delusions. That's actually
tinfoil
so
hat.
crazy.
The fucking tinfoil hat conspiracy theories.
Accept
No.
how unpopular the strike is and how many people don't support it. Thinks that the people criticizing it here are actually Hoyoverse plants run by Hoyo or something. Bro, people are dedicated, but usually not like that. Okay, done with the list. This is definitely a majority of accounts made for the sole purpose of spreading anti-union rhetoric. No original posts, only replies, didn't exist until the start of the strike, and so many of them were only made after the Paimon announcement to harass Karina. By the way, Sean Laraway wasn't done with the other post we read. He went on to make a whole separate post, because before he was like responding to Karina, this time he's made his own post on his own Blue Sky account saying, we're not anti-union, we're anti-SAG. It's not a strike, they're just refusing to work. The company has every legal right to replace them. Saying those all in quotes. And then going on to write, if you're celebrating any company replacing striking workers of any kind because they are trying to unionize, then yeah, You are in fact anti-union. It's been
I love how he doesn't allow any nuance to it. It's just cut and dry to him. It's black and white, nothing else. No context, it's just you against them every fucking time.
clarified ad repeatedly that Hoyoverse games do not provide AI protections for anyone in the US or the UK or really anyone outside of China and Singapore. They refuse to sign any protections in writing, so actors went on strikes. And the fandom continues to harass the voice actors. They bullied Kenichi's new VA, he says in quotes again, and 2 more quotes here. They lied about the situation, they just want a monopoly. Hoyo was patient enough, they took too long. Seriously, the mental gymnastics need to stop.
What mental gymnastics? Bro, he's just using the word that's being used against him. Are you for real? The lack of self-awareness, literally, you're right. But they literally do want a monopoly on it. They literally do want a monopoly on the roads. What are you on about? Oh my god.
Those are not mental gymnastics, those are things.
Oh, thank you for the Gamma Subs purchase. Using code Kitsunero for 10% off. Now available in the EU and AU with Europe shipping for a select few tubs.
Things that literally happened. Yes, a lot of you guys were bullying Kenichi's new VA. We all saw it happen. Like, how are you going to try and say that's mental gymnastics, bro? What? This argument's so bad. They lied about the situation. They just want a monopoly. Well, yeah, a lot of you guys were lying about the situation. And yes, SAG-AFTRA does seem to want a monopoly. It's even on their own website. They literally encourage people to audition for non-union roles so they can try and flip those
The bad part about it is, like, one of the bad parts, right? But what makes it so much worse is that you have to pay a steep entry fee into the SAG-AFTRA union. It's ridiculous.
projects to become union. And they further even say that they want people to essentially collect intel while they're on those non-union roles to look for the next non-union positions they can try and flip as well. Does this guy even, like, know what he's talking about here at all?
No,
Probably
he doesn't.
not. It's a recurring theme with these people. They act like we don't know what we're talking about, but then when we point out the issues with what they say we're wrong and harassing them, and they play victim. They say a bunch of other stuff too, you know. Oh my gosh. Hoyo was patient enough. They took too long. Hoyo has been extremely patient. I mean, they gave you guys months and months and months. I think they gave Kenichi's old VA, John Pat Nwad, like 6 months. It was around like 6 months they gave the guy. It seemed like, based on the information we all had, to return to work, and he just seemed to not want to do it, so eventually they replaced him.
Whoa.
Mental gymnastics, though, right? Oh my gosh, we talked about how delusional these people are. It just gets worse and worse here, man. Look at this take.
Isn't it like more than 10% of yearly income for the average member? I don't know the specifics of it, to be honest. I do not know. There might be like some extra fees on top of that even. I don't know.
Especially the end part we'll get to. The patience thing is funny because the VAs have been patient. They've been trying to unionize this game for years. Hoyo makes ungodly amounts of money, yet treats their VAs like garbage. Honestly, not only should they be making union rates, they should be making 10 times the union rate.
What?
Oh my gosh, these people are so entitled, man. Hoyo seems to actually treat their VAs pretty well, like realistically from what we've seen. But hey, that's not good enough. They need to be not just treating us better,
not.
but paying us more. Specifically 10 times more. They should be paying the VAs 10 times more. 10 times the union rate. Which, by the way, this is just a question because I don't remember like everything. You know, there's been so much stuff. Joe Zija, didn't he say that Hoyo was actually paying union rates already, or he made that implication or something? What was that all about? Anyone remember that? Please do clarify in the comments. If so, I appreciate you. What's this? This person said one more thing here too. That's the crazy thing here. Yeah, you are. That's the crazy thing here. I've seen people say it's not a strike because they aren't union when they are literally trying to unionize. Well, that's definitely something that came from Joe Siege's video. He referred to it as a collective work refusal. Any attempt by workers to get rights are better than the corporation refusing said rights. Always. Workers over corporations. Always. Hey, buddy, guess what? Corporations are made up of people. So are unions. And people can do corrupt, shady things in a union or at a corporation. I know. Crazy concept,
insane.
Right? Sean Larway says, yeah, I heard that too, and it's ridiculous. It doesn't have to be union to be a strike. Often strikes themselves lead to a formation of a union. Oh, let's see this person. Criticizing SAG, and Sean Laraway responds, "It's difficult to have a positive view of SAG, especially looking at how SAG and some of its members have been handling their online public images and SAG's practices. Example, charging one-time fee of $3,000 for membership."
Well, thank you for another Gamer Subs purchase. So there we go 10 seconds back.
It's difficult to have a positive view of SAG, especially looking at how SAG and some of its members have been handling their online public images and SAG's practices. Example, charging one-time fee of $3,000 for membership that make people question them and compare them with other unions. Sean Laraway says, "Honestly, there are plenty of real criticisms you can have with SAG. I'm not saying you can't have any, but just because you don't like how a few actors have handled things doesn't invalidate an entire strike." Well, the terms of the strike, which seem to be very manipulative, misleading, and one-sided, arguably do. Protests are not supposed to be polite, and they are often okay, guess what? People are protesting you guys now. Now what? You support our protests? Are you guys scabs to our protest against you? Protests are not supposed to be polite, and they are often inconvenience to the public consumers. SAG may have problems, but nothing the VAs have said or done is invalidating what they are fighting for.
Oh boy. Yeah, I'm sure the bullying as well doesn't invalidate what they are fighting for. Sure.
Well, sure, you can see it that way, and we'll see it for what it really is, which is a bunch of bullies trying to get more money and more power, while gaslighting others about it and trying to stand on some moral high ground. As for Karina herself, she's got some very interesting reposts on her Blue Sky. Let's see what
lordy
she
lord,
wants
here we
people on her
go.
Blue Sky to see what she's reposting here. Presumably, that means she's agreeing with this stuff, right? So, she reposts this from Days, who we saw a post from like earlier, but he says this as well. "I love how the anti-harassment brigade has said absolutely nothing about the vicious harassment campaign Karina has been receiving, but still pearl clutching over Jacob. It's almost as if these people were full of it the whole time. They are very pro-harassment if they don't like someone."
I don't know. Maybe Karina's being criticized because she's a POS and a hypocrite. Just maybe. Maybe. You know, crazy concept. You know, the fuck around and find out. You know? FAFO. Oh, but who am I to think about it that way, right?
Question. Who instigated all this? Who started it? And now who's getting criticism for the actions that they started, the things that they started, instigated to begin with? Yeah, we're not going to get an answer, but you guys all know. You should also keep in mind that Paimon VA is non-binary. You silly.
And? So? What does that have to do with anything? That was just, like, literally just being used as a shield. So what? She's still a POS? Or they are still a POS? In that case? Like, now what?
To act like people driving this hate brigade aren't motivated by transphobia. Oh my gosh, is that the card they're trying to pull
Alright.
now? Hey guys,
Okay,
Karina did nothing wrong,
there
and
it
you guys had
is.
no valid points. You're just transphobes.
There it
No way,
is.
man.
Who could have
No
seen
way.
that?
First of all, I didn't even know that Karina's trans. Literally no one is saying anything related to trans.
I have never heard that Karina would be trans. I do not think that she's trans. I believe she's non-binary from some memories. But being non-binary doesn't mean you're trans. These people don't even know what they're trying to say. It's so dumb.
Stuff here, except you now. But hey, let's ignore all the rightful, reasonable, just criticism and try to blame it on transphobia. This has to be one of the worst arguments that you possibly could have picked. And you actually picked it, congratulations. But hey, Karina liked it, I guess, retweeted, reposted the post. By the way, this argument actually just throws trans people under the bus because you're trying to use that identity as a shield for someone's terrible actions. We got Sean Laraway here too. Another Sean Laraway post. Karina reposting.
Wait, what does non-binary have to do with transphobia? Nothing. Legitimately nothing.
It's saying, not gonna lie, if I was a voice actor for a gacha game and I asked for written AI protections, got unwillingly replaced for my role for asking, and then the fanbase online spent months harassing VAs while defending the person who stole my role because they feel he was bullied, I'd flip the heck out. Oh, good for you, man.
Good
Go
for
flip
you.
out. Go ahead and flip out on Blue Sky. Be my guest.
Like, literally good for you.
What is that even supposed to mean? I'm gonna flip out, guys. Okay, cool story. If you are a normal person and aren't hyper obsessed a-hole and are upset at how Karina, Paimon's VA, has been treated, I implore you to play this series and pick up the new Somnium Files releasing in July.
Sorry, just gotta address this real quick. Non-binary is just a way for unattractive white women to feel special. We don't need to attack someone based on their identity. Well, we don't need to do that. Like, it's dumb. They can use it as a shield, and we can call them out for using it as a shield. But we don't need to attack anyone for their looks, or for their gender, or for their gender identification. As long as they don't attack anyone for it either. You know?
Show them our appreciation. They voiced Mizuki, and they are fantastic. This time we got Beanbap. It makes me sad to watch the Genshin community spread anti-union propaganda. Pointing out facts that just so happen to be critical of the union and the actions taken by its supporters. Guys, that is actually propaganda. Did you know?
Yeah,
they say spread anti-union propaganda and blatant lies about SAG-AFTRA because they are mildly inconvenienced by a character not having a voice, as if their own pleasure means more than the voice actor's frickin' job. More lies, more delusions. The fact is, at the beginning of the strike, and these characters not having a voice in the first number of months even, Hoyo fans were largely supporting the strike, once again despite the characters not having a voice. As the months went on, people began to see how these VAs and their strike was actually a lot more manipulative than they were led to believe, how there were a lot of issues with it, how corrupt this was all coming off, this continuing to become more and more commonplace knowledge throughout the communities as the months went on. And then ultimately, once Jacob Takanashi got harassed, it reached a boiling point where people also saw how SAG-AFTRA and these VAs are like a bunch of bullies, power-hungry bullies as well. And then it began to like circle outside the Hoyoverse community too. And this is like a simplified version of what happened, but this is like the point being that it's a lot more than like people are only criticizing us because they want the characters to have a voice and they haven't had a voice. I should be used to the echo chamber on.
This feels like it should be an article from the site how these people real. You make a good point, man. I don't know either. It's comical.
Blue sky here already, and how delusional these people are. But I can't even read this stuff, and I'm like, how are these people serious, man? How are they this delusional? How is the hive mind this thick there? They just say all kinds of nonsense, and then all agree with each other, and then all repost the same nonsense, and they just won't try to have any sort of development as a person. They won't try to have any sort of
they all just repost the same thing in their own little echo chamber.
Growth. They will never admit that they're in the wrong at all, even slightly. Everyone else is in the wrong, and they're all just a bunch of victims. And then there's this one from just 54 minutes ago.
Oh boy.
I find it wild that Genshin fans think the VA should be grateful and think they're and think they are treated well by Hoyo. Hoyo makes ungodly amounts of money. It's insane the VAs aren't being paid like mainstream Hollywood actors for their contributions to this money-making machine. Ain't no.
But actors and voice actors are a little bit different. Why would actors and voice actors be paid the same? Like with actors, it's like an entire different thing. You need to convince someone on screen that you're looking the part, while with that it's just the voice. What?
Way. Ain't no way. I can't. I think I need to get off the internet. This is the dumbest stuff I've seen, man.
You and me both.
These VAs should all get paid like Hollywood celebrities. You guys are so obnoxious and entitled.
It's
oh
unreal.
My gosh, dude. Karina, not only that we have to wait on average 3 to 5 months to be paid at all, I know one actor in the cast waited a whole year for a paycheck before. Yeah,
oh
allegedly,
my God.
right? Consistently the only person talking about this stuff and having an issue with payments, despite the fact that, based off the information we have, Hoyo already helped Karina resolve this issue once. And hey, but
damn,
I can't believe how rude and entitled these people are. From, once again, public information, it looked like Hoyo actually helped Karina resolve payment issues in the past. Karina is like, I haven't seen Karina thank Hoyo. Karina just continues to insult Hoyo. And this just goes back to what I've been saying. All of this recent shade that Karina has to Hoyo. And
sorry, they should have fired her long ago.
Let me put a bullet point there, a caveat being that Karina has thrown a lot of shade at Hoyo for months now. But in particular, Karina was pretty silent on Blue Sky over the last few weeks, and now has come back with this interview and these recent posts on Blue Sky going off once again with a lot of insults at Hoyoverse. This all leading me to the conclusion that it does seem like she got terminated, Karina got terminated, got axed from Genshin, and is now so mad at Hoyoverse, trying to throw all this shade and insults and all this stuff, allegations, etc., etc. And I still can't believe this person. I like, what the frick, dude?
It's
I can't
insane.
believe this whole they should be treated like Hollywood celebrities thing, like
It doesn't
paid
make
like
any
mainstream
sense.
Hollywood actors. And the other person's like, what they say, 10 times the union rate or something? Was it the same person? Probably. I don't even know anymore. I feel like I just lost 50 IQ from reading all this nonsense. Thankfully, I get off the internet for a little bit, get some fresh air, and I'll feel fine, feel all good. But like, oh my gosh, guys, I cannot believe, I'm sounding like a broken record. It's just seriously unbelievable stuff what these people say. How do they come up with this stuff? How brain rotted are these people? I feel bad for them. Hopefully these people can like get better. Clearly there's something not all there, not right, you know, like
They
what's
need
the word?
mental
They're kind of
help.
like whacked or whatever. So I
Bring back mental asylums, man.
think that's all I gotta say on this one, man. That's enough of this for me. Let me know what you guys think about all this stuff in the comments. If you enjoyed my coverage, please also consider liking and or subscribing.
Already linked
Appreciate
it.
you. Have a great week ahead, and I'll see you in the next one.
Should be treated like mainstream Hollywood actors. I don't even know who you are. Ah. Oh my god. Customer service rep have to voice act. Does that mean I am getting paid on dirt by comparison? Probably. Oh my god. Resentment can grow quietly without much warning after a storm. Mushrooms can too. Shiitake. Should take. I see. I see. Nice one, nice one.